This is the simplest way to get extended run times on your generator. This extended run fuel tank simply screws onto the existing filler neck and then doubles your runtime. So if you have a Predator 3500 generator or a Power Horse 4500 generator, it's the same exact thing, and it simply just bolts right on. Don't have a Predator 3500? They make a fuel cell for the Predator 5000. They also make a fuel cell for the Predator 9500. Now the company who makes these is MC Metalworks. They're actually a company that's out in Florida. They're basically like a mom and pop shop where these are proudly made in the USA. It's basically 6061 T6 aluminum and it's powder coated, so more than likely this is going to outlast your generator. Now maybe you don't have any of the Predators, that's okay because they're going to be expanding their line. Like if you have a Champion 4500 or a Wen 3800 or a Wen 4500, those are all the same generators. They all have the same filler neck. So eventually they're going to be making more of these tanks for more popular lines like the Honda EU3000S or the Honda EU7000i. They already have one for a Honda generator, they have one for a Westinghouse and more, so you'll have to look onto their webpage and I'll leave a link down below to see what they have available for you. So I'm going to go run you through how easy it is to install this. We'll use a Predator as an example, and again this is super simple, pretty much anybody can do it, so let's get started. Now when you take this out of the box, this will contain your fuel tank, also a bag that's going to have parts and a QR code. Those are going to be your instructions. It comes with a card, also a tank wrench, a zip tie, and then these components in the plastic bag. Now inside the plastic bag is an O-ring, also your brackets for the tank, and you will have 4 wing nuts along with these 2 plugs. These plugs are going to be for a vent line, which I'll show you in a minute. Now on the bottom side of your fuel tank, you're going to take that O-ring and go ahead and place it onto the fuel neck. This is going to make your seal when you adapt it to your generator, and then you're done with step 1. Now take off your existing fuel cap, and what we need to do is remove the chain. Now this chain is just held on with a clip, which is simple enough to get off. Just go ahead and bend it a little out of the way. That'll pop right off. Now if you want, you can just take the chain and dump it right inside and leave it for later use. Or if you want to remove it completely, then you can do that as well, but this is not a bad place to leave it. We're now going to take the fuel tank and put these tabs towards the rear, which would be the exhaust side. And then the fuel tank neck is just going to simply screw on and thread to the existing one on the generator. Now I suggest keeping this flange down, that way your O-ring stays in place. Go ahead and set it on the filler neck, and then just start to thread it on by hand. Now we need our 4 wing nuts and our 2 clamps. Take the short bracket, place it behind the bar. Take the long bracket, place it on top of the short bracket. Take one of your wing nuts and then place this on. Go ahead and leave it loose. Now you can slide it over to the tank. And you're just going to put it on here loose for now. Good enough. Do the same thing with the other one. Now that we have our brackets on, this is when we can go ahead and use that wrench to tighten down the tank completely. Go ahead and hold the tank while you tighten this nut down. Nice and snug. Now we need to come back here and tighten down both brackets. I would tighten the tank side first to the bracket. Now tighten the bracket to the bar of the generator. And now the tank is nice and tight and secure. Now we have one more step that we have to do inside of the generator. We have to remove a vent line. Now you'll have to see what engine you have because there are 2 different models. If you look onto their instructions page, they will show you these charcoal canisters. There are a couple different ones because this engine is a Ratto Engineering 212cc. They used to make a different model, which was a Lonson 212cc engine, so this canister will look square on one of them and round on this one. So what we need to do is remove the second line that's back here. That's going to be the vent line that we're going to remove. It's going to be this secondary one, at least on this generator. Now they give you these 2 plugs, and this little plug is going to be the one that we're going to need for this small vent line. So we'll just shove this in here. We will probably have to take our pliers and open up our little clamp real quick. Go ahead and push this in, and that should be strong enough. Now basically this really could just kind of tuck in out of the way, but you may want to zip tie this with a supplied zip tie. I like to wrap mine around twice. And now we're pretty much ready to go. Go ahead and cut that off. Reinstall our side cover. And now this is what our finished product looks like. You now have that tank installed. It was super easy, took about 10 minutes. And since you did mess with the fuel system, check for leaks here and inside there. So you may want to leave that side cover off just to make sure that nothing is leaking and everything is working properly. Your new gas cap is going to be your new vent. So this is what's going to allow the system to vent properly. So now that's why we can have that stay there. But again, check for leaks and then go ahead and run your generator as you normally would. Now you're probably wondering about a couple of these behind me, like the GenMax models. These don't actually fit. The filler neck actually does fit, but yet the mounts are actually in a different location because they haven't really gotten to these lines yet. So you just have to wait and be a little bit patient. You can always contact them. I'll leave the information down below. But if you're looking for a simple solution to double your run times, this is by far the easiest thing that I have found. And I'm glad to help them out because they are a USA made company. And again, they're like a mom and pop shop. And I love that they provided such an easy solution for something that we could all use, especially in times where fires and hurricanes and the power grid just goes off whenever. This is definitely something that could make our backup solutions a little bit easier. So I hope you guys liked the video and I hope to see you in another one.